Welcome back to Mommy Meltdown on Giant TV. I'm Stephanie Mizzi, your host for today. And, normally we talk about things that cause me to have mommy meltdowns. And I have to be honest with you, this is not one of those things that actually is something that I deal with directly in my life with my kids, but sort of as an arm's length. And I say that because we're talking about allergies today. And we're talking about childhood allergies specifically because May is known as Asthma and Allergy Awareness Month. And I think we all kind of deal with allergies, even if it's not our own kids dealing with them. We have to be aware of them, whether it's in the classrooms or it's at birthday parties. So I thought, let's educate ourselves a little bit. I certainly could use the education today, Hiromi. Thank you so much for joining us today. Actually, on Skype today, we are talking with Hiromi Okuyama. Hello.
Yes. Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am excellent, thanks. So you are not only a mom of a child with some severe allergies, but because of that have really become quite the advocate for allergy awareness. So
well, I hope so. Yeah, well, I do like to talk about our story just so that it brings awareness and so other people understand and knows, and so that they know in their community how to help other kids with allergies as well, or even adults now. A lot of adults have food allergies too, so...
Yeah, that's interesting. And I think that adults are kind of getting onto the bus, if you will, like a little bit late on that, that maybe they thought they just kind of didn't feel good if they eat certain foods, but now they're realizing that they actually have an allergy to many of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So take us from the beginning of this. How did you become such a strong advocate for allergy awareness?
Well, my son, Roman, he's 4 years old, and he's anaphylactic, so really serious, and he's been in the hospital many times. He's anaphylactic to dairy, wheat, and eggs.
Wow.
So it's been quite challenging all around, but he's such a blessing. So it's just been a wonderful, the allergies aren't wonderful,
yes,
but it's wonderful to get to know other people in the community that has the same issues, and it's just, it opened a whole new world to me, and companies that are really great at helping families and with allergies. So it just opened up a whole new world. But of course, I wish that he didn't have it because it's really hard. It's life threatening.
Yeah.
But yeah,
is it time consuming as well? I figure to myself when I'm on a diet and I'm looking at at different ingredients and things, I'm like, whoa, I had no idea there was that much sugar in something. It's got to be like that every time you go to the grocery store.
Our grocery bill is so much more than the average family, and I call it the luxury of convenience. We don't have the luxury of convenience, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, we can't go through, if I have an older daughter in dance, and then I have my 4-year-old. We can't go through a McDonald's drive-through or Tim Hortons drive-through. We can't grab bagels and muffins. We have to literally pack everything for Roman. Because we can't go into a store and just grab something. Like the grocery stores, yes, but we can't order pizza for him from, if we get hungry, or sometimes you don't feel like cooking. We have to cook almost everything from scratch for him.
Wow, that is a lot of extra time.
It is, and we have to clean a lot more. We have to just be very careful with surfaces. We have to separate everything. It's not as free or as convenient as if it was a non-allergy family. Yeah,
that's interesting, because that's not something that I think if you don't deal with allergies, you even give it a second thought, Yeah. I remember my cousin Suzanne, who connected us, actually.
Yes,
and she's got William. I love her to death, too. She's got little William, who's got some serious allergies. And, I had said to her, educate me a little bit on this, because one of the things that she had mentioned is don't ever send the kids to a play date or to a birthday card party or school and let them go beforehand having say a peanut butter sandwich, because even though they aren't directly having a peanut butter sandwich in front of the kid who's allergic to it, they could still have it on their breath or their hands, and so that's kind of what you're alluding to with the cleaning aspect of it.
Yeah. Or just like what you were mentioning. So, for example, when we go to the early years centers, or the library, I always have to be careful there too. And most of the early years centers, they know Roman already, and they know his situation. So as soon as we come in, they put the stuff like Play-Doh, commercial Play-Doh. There's now gluten-free Play-Doh, but commercial Play-Doh has wheat in it.
Wow.
Or sensory bins with pasta, right? hives.
Wow. And so if he does touch something like that, and you must have an EpiPen or something of that nature on you at all times, does he go into a full-blown, you got to give the EpiPen right away and then get him to emergency? Is that kind of, what he's talking about?
So so what a lot of people don't realize is that each allergy attack is different. If he touches a surface, usually he does go and break into hives. It's when, for Roman's case, just every child with allergies have different symptoms. For Roman's case, it's mostly ingested.
Okay.
But if he does touch a surface with, even when we're at the mall, if we don't fully clean something, if he touches something, all of a sudden I'll notice like little hives here or there wherever he touches.
Wow.
Or say, one time his friend is so sweet. His friend was eating yogurt and his mom is so careful. Yeah. And she wiped his mouth, she wiped his hands, but then he wanted to give Roman a kiss on the cheek. So he gave Roman a kiss on the cheek, and then Roman it looked like a lipstick mark. But that's how, and then I heard about teenagers when they start getting older, and then, when they have to be careful when, what you said, when they kiss, because the allergens could be in the mouth. So it's just little things that we don't think about. Those things happen to food allergy kids.
And exactly. And how stressful that must be as a parent to always be on guard for everything.
It's really stressful. One food allergy blogger, I forgot her name, but she had an analogy where she says that when kids go out in the world or when kids are at school, it's like there's landmines everywhere. Right? Yes. Because any food that a child's allergic to, whether it's nuts, eggs, for Roman's case, wheat and dairy as well, if they touch it, they put it in their mouth, then it sends them to the hospital. It's a landmine, right?
Yes.
So that's a way of thinking. That's how serious food allergies are for many people.
And for so many kids, the regular everyday stuff of, going to school, going to birthday parties, going to sleepovers, I'm sure that's got to be that much harder when you've got a kid who's got severe allergies. Do you let them go? Do you just have a conversation with the parent? How does that work?
So for birthday parties, we have our own cupcakes, so we get these really fancy cupcakes, so he doesn't feel too left out.
Right.
And I usually ask the parent what they're serving, so I can bring something comparable. So if usually it's pizza.
Yes.
So I'll bring Roman's own pizza, or or usually if it's mac and cheese, we have a dairy-free, egg-free, gluten-free mac and cheese. So we try and get things that are similar. Or when my mother-in-law and father-in-law have parties, they have their Filipino descent, so they have their special noodles. So then they'll make a noodles for Roman that looks similar. Or they'll have if kids are having popsicle, I'll bring Roman's popsicle. So we try to bring something that's similar so Roman doesn't feel too left out.
I love that. I love
parties
that.
Are hard.
That would be hard. I feel like you could be onto an idea there, Roman's own whatever. You have a whole list of different recipes that you could provide to all families. If we have someone that's watching this, that's a food distributor, you could be onto something with that.
But it is hard because one time I went to this Halloween party, and of course I was with Roman, and it was mostly a lot of older kids, but some kids his age, and then they were serving pizza, and then Roman kind of figured out that their pizza is different than his, and so he was getting a little bit upset.
Okay.
So those are the things that we're starting to deal with as he grows older, and I can't even imagine so many parents with teens, like your cousin with an older child, how much harder it is when they're older and out there on their own sometimes.
Yes, because he's 4. So do you start to have that conversation now with him of what he's able to and not able to have and be around?
Yeah, kind of. So for example, right now the kitchen is gated, so he's not allowed to come to the kitchen by himself. But when he is in the kitchen, we're always there, and he can see the eggs. So I tell him, Roman, you're not allowed to eat eggs. I'm starting to have that conversation with him, and then he's actually pretty smart. He knows that his almond milk is almond milk. He can have it, or his lemonade, but he can't have that other juice. Okay. He kind of sees it, and I've been having a conversation with him too, where instead of just saying we're having mac and cheese, I said you can only eat vegan mac and cheese because vegan is usually safe for him, or gluten-free pasta, or gluten-free, your special pizza. I'm trying to tell him how his is different than other kids.
Yeah. That's tough in and of itself. I'm sure it's got to take years for that to kind of catch on and just be their normal, if you will.
Yeah, and some people say that it's not ideal, but it's probably better that he had it now, so he doesn't know what he's missing in the future. Whereas I hear of like teenagers and adults, all of a sudden they have an allergy and they have to change their whole lifestyle, which is a big shock, right?
That would be.
So I really feel for people who find out that they have an anaphylactic allergy, like later on in life, because you really have to change your whole life. Whereas in Roman's case, he's had allergies we've known since he was almost a baby, so he's growing up with it.
So take us through that. Like when he first discovered that he had allergies, he was very young, I'm assuming.
Yeah. So when he was born, just a few weeks later, we know he had really, really bad eczema.
Okay.
And the eczema was, it was really bad. And I was exclusively breastfeeding him. And then we went to our family doctor. Noticed it was so bad that he told us to go to emergency. So we went to emergency. Finally, we got in touch with a pediatric dermatologist, and she helped us a lot. But I noticed that I started eliminating stuff from my what I've been eating, so that he could. And I was writing it down, but I still wasn't sure, 100% sure. I thought it was maybe an intolerance. I didn't think it would be allergies. Okay. Because when you're a new mom, well, I have an older daughter. She doesn't have any allergies. But when you don't think about, like, my child has an allergy, you just think, oh, maybe they have an intolerance like me, or maybe they can't handle this, or maybe their stomach can't handle that. I don't think about the allergy, right? And then he would touch surfaces and he'd get hives, and I'm like, oh, maybe his skin's just really sensitive. Like, it's not that maybe I was naive. I just didn't think too much about it. And then when he was 9 months, you know how you give cheese as kind of like
start introducing foods, yeah.
So actually at 5 or 6 months, we gave him cereal, and my daughter noticed something was off about him. And then when I called our local nurse, the telehealth nurse, I think, or our local 311 nurse, she said that actually now they're starting with breastfeeding, especially breastfeeding babies. They start with meat and pureed vegetables and fruits. So then after we just gave him that, we didn't give him any cereal. So that's how I didn't know he was allergic to wheat. And he didn't have any dairy. We just gave him all this meat, like pureed meat, fruits and vegetables for until 9 months. And 9 months, I okay, let's see if he can have cheese. And if he has diarrhea, maybe he's lactose intolerant like me. That's what I thought, right?
Right, yeah.
He had cheese, and all of a sudden, and this is where different allergic reactions happen differently. I mean, he had hives before when he was a baby, so we knew something was up with him. But he didn't even have hives at first. He just swelled up like a balloon.
Wow! It
was kind of scary, and I've learned later on that different allergic reactions happen differently. So you just have to know the different signs,
right?
And we called Telehealth Ontario. They told us to go to the hospital right away. And then that's when he started getting hives and then throwing up. Wow. And then that's when we found out he's allergic to dairy. And then we had another episode a few months later. We found out he was allergic to wheat. And then a few months later, we had another episode where he had something with egg. And then, it was like this really horrifying months of trial and error. So now we're kind of scared of feeding him foods. But at least now we know the signs. We have our EpiPens.
Yes.
He hasn't really tried anything new, but anytime he eats that we still read all the ingredients. But if anything, a new product we bring in our house, and we looked at all the ingredients and it looked safe, but we're still very ready with our EpiPen and everything just in case.
Yeah, absolutely. That's got to be a scary thing. I feel like I would want to put my kid in a bubble. Just put him in a bubble, and that's a lot of stress for a parent to handle. We have Hiromi Okuyama with us today, and she is an advocate for allergies, and Allergy Awareness Month is in the month of May. Now, a topic actually that I had no idea even existed when it came to food is bullying. And it's a topic that's quite near and dear to my heart because I have an older son who was bullied quite badly for a number of years. And when we were going through it, they were like, well, there's no physical violence. And I said, well, exclusion is bullying. But I never thought that food could be exclusion, which is also bullying as well. So is this something that you have come across, or?
So because Roman's so young, and because we have such a good group of friends, that are really caring, and we have family members that are really caring, I've heard some really, because I'm part of a lot of, food allergy support groups, Facebook groups. I've heard a lot of horror stories. Thankfully, we have great family, great friends, and I haven't personally experienced food bullying, but I've read about it so much, and you see it all in the news. It's
so what
scary,
happens? How does that even happen? How does that occur?
Like, I think kids, and then you see it in the movies too, movies and television shows, they think it's funny to make fun of kids who have allergies, and they just see these surface symptoms, like maybe they think it's funny they go out in hives, or maybe they think it's funny that they cough a lot, but they don't know, like, people don't understand how lethal, like how fatal it can be. That's right. Like, and in all these jokes and memes in social media, especially now with gluten-free, everyone likes to, it's just this big trend to make fun of gluten-free, and people don't realize that many people have celiac disease, which is very serious. Yes. And they have people who have celiac disease, they have to eat gluten-free, and my son, who's anaphylactic to wheat, he has to eat gluten-free. But then you see all these, like, people who get annoyed with gluten-free, and it's just this trendy thing. The trendy thing, Yeah, they don't realize how, and when you make fun of something, that's bullying too, right? And it trickles, it's a trickle-down effect. Like, it comes from the media, and then all of a sudden it goes through the kids, and then the kids make fun of, they see what they see, and imitate what they see, in the media.
That's right. All over social media. I can definitely see that. It wasn't until, like I said, that it was brought to my attention, I thought, I could absolutely see that. In fact, I've been in part of a conversation that involved bullying around food that happened at my child's school, and there was a little boy who was really allergic to everything on a pizza, everything that involved a pizza. And so he wasn't able to partake, or his class weren't able to partake in Pizza Day, because it left him susceptible. And that poor little guy, I don't know if his kids in his class said anything, but I tell you, the parents had lots to say about it. And so that, is just another form, like you say, of food bullying. It's
like if a child can't, they can't have pizza, and then the parents too feel like they're being, other parents complain, well, why can't my child have? A lot of people feel kind of entitled, like the people who want to go on the airplane with peanuts. Like, I have a right to have peanuts on the airplane for that 1 hour. And it's like, don't you realize that these peanuts can, because some children are or even adults are very airborne, even if they smell it or have it near them. That's right. They can get an allergic reaction, and then so they make the people with allergies as the enemy, right?
That's exactly what ends up happening. One of the things that we've heard a lot about, speaking of the media, in the media is sort of something that they've touched on. I don't know if they've actually done a whole lot of research on it, but it's the idea of reintroducing some of these foods that kids are allergic to see if they have outgrown, I guess, some of those allergies. Is that something that, for me as a parent, I would think that if I had a son like your son that was really allergic to everything, I'd be very nervous about reintroducing some of those foods. Is that something that you guys have thought about, or are you nervous about this?
I'm nervous. I know our pediatric allergists, they do OIT, that's what it's called, and they talk to us about it. It is a big commitment. My son has done a baked milk challenge. So a baked milk challenge is when you bake milk inside, like, say, a cupcake or muffin at a very, very high degree. And then you bring it to the allergist's office with your child. And then they feed your child every half an hour just to see the reaction. And if they pass the challenge, then you can start making baked milk stuff at home. But my son failed it. Like, he had it, they gave him a half an hour, then all of a sudden he went to anaphylactic shock, so they had to give him an EpiPen, and then we had to stay in the allergist office that was really scary. And they have milk or baked egg challenge with us for
quite some
since
time.
then, which was a couple years ago.
Yeah.
But it is scary. But it will. A lot of the reason why they do is because if you are able to go through it successfully, it does improve your quality of life. Like
Yes.
it'll improve my son's quality of life immensely if at least one of his allergies are not there, one or two.
Do they say that? Just one or two would be good, right? Yeah. Do they say that kids can outgrow allergies?
So yeah, some kids do outgrow allergies. We've heard, and from all the support groups that I'm part of, I've heard that they're so happy because once their child has outgrown it, you're happy for
That's
other parents because you know how it
life-changing.
feels.
Yes.
Like, yeah, and I hear that some kids do outgrow like milk, some kids do outgrow like egg allergies. So hopefully that will happen with us.
Our fingers are crossed for you for sure.
Yeah.
So if there's one thing, Mommy Meltdown is all about giving tips and tricks and stuff to parents who might find themselves in similar situations, and whether they have a child with allergies or have no children with allergies but are just trying to understand it better. What would you want parents to know?
Probably first to know the signs, just in case, because a child can develop an allergy later on in life. Right. So first to know the signs, especially moms with babies. Like I hope that our government, our health department, our government sends out more information to parents with babies, because imagine a mom with a new baby and not knowing if the baby's allergic to something, and all of a sudden maybe the baby goes into anaphylactic shock and maybe they just think it's a whooping cough or something. They don't realize it can be fatal. So probably I hope new moms read more information about food allergies, because it's getting so common now.
Yes.
Another thing is, like, I hope other parents have, and a lot of parents do, but I just hope other parents are very understanding if they know that their child is in the same class with another child with a food allergy. Maybe try and include them. It makes the child feel really good.
Yes.
Try and promote non-food treats as celebrations, like at schools, because I know a lot of people like to bake things for school events, but people can celebrate without food for that 1 hour, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
My children's schools don't actually even allow any baked goods to come in.
Oh,
no baked goods. Good. It's only non-food treats, if they call it that.
Yes. Yeah. So that's a great step, and hopefully the parents won't be bitter about it, and hopefully they are understanding, knowing that like that piece of food can kill another child. So hopefully, and teach empathy to their children.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. That's a big part of it, right? The kids are watching us all the time, and if we're even saying one little thing like griping about not being able to bring muffins or cupcakes into the classroom, the kids feed off that, right? They hear those things. So that's just going to escalate because they don't quite understand where that all comes from. So
exactly. Yeah.
Well, I think I feel better educated. I think I do. I think I do today. We've had on with us today via Skype on Mommy Meltdown, Hiromi Okuyama, who is, as you have just heard, a great advocate for allergy awareness and the month of May, Allergy Awareness Month. So I want to thank you again. I know this was short notice. And
thank you so much for having me.
I really appreciate it.
Helping to spread food allergy awareness.
Well, you're very active on social media as well.
Yes.
Where do you have a page, or do you have, anything we can follow you along?
I'm on Instagram and Twitter.
Excellent.
So my Instagram is Hiromi Act, so HIROMI8CTS, for both Instagram and Twitter.
Excellent. We'll be sure to put that right in the line below for everybody to check you out, and maybe ask you some questions or get some support as well.
For sure.
Thank you so much once again for joining us today. And thank you for tuning into Mommy Meltdown. Remember, you can stress out. No, you can freak out, but you just can't stress out because you had a Mommy Meltdown. Until next time.